Already recording. Just want to double check on the recording. This is RDE 454 Children's Literature for Children and Adolescents. There'll be 6 students in this class, and we will be starting at 10:15. I'm trying to make sure that I get a recording of the entire class, and so I'm going to let this run until they start joining us about 10:15. It'll be about 15 more minutes before it actually starts. Yeah, it's still doing. Hey, Steve, those batteries would work at this right. On the stove, there's some butter salt, and you can heat that up and have that wet on your pan. Pour it over. It almost reminds me of a lobster. I mean, I don't know, you may not like it.
That's for president and warline and yet he's sending that a lot to advance. The world, yeah, you remember that the video sky, you have some Canada, you can have like the citizen of that lot. And while you're in fine. How do you do that? It's a big on good time. I'm starting to expose you. And you stop with some nonsense. And I think you look. Without behind that, when you talk about fast and slow, is because you look over that is a short that definition out on that like you know outside work right yes one so and we want to talk about that yeah no so that's one probably left in point there's all from the side of this house, but sure, but six things all over. If you make cool, you can sort of that out. Oh, it's never like it's you have all the need. All the plan, but I'm multiple office, and there's a 5 hours to that. There's just so far ending to make sure you can help that. And just like let this process play itself out. This is probably that one to the zero. He's everything. Yeah, what we do that control of our information.
Weird. Morning when I got out of the shower, I have coffee. Hey guys, I on my on my phone it says it's 10:16, but on this computer it says 10:06. What do y'all have?
10:16.
Okay, I don't know.
10:16.
Yeah, it's something wrong with my computer. I guess it lost time. How are you doing?
Good.
Y'all look great.
I'm doing good.
Good, good, good. We'll go ahead and kind of start. I think we've got a few others that joining. They'll be here probably shortly. So where are you located?
Thomasville, Georgia.
Thomasville. Allie?
Valdosta. Do you know Catherine Boulay?
Yes.
That's my co-teacher.
Oh, lovely. Yes, Catherine was in our she was I think in our master's program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And oh gosh, yeah, she's lovely. She
Yeah,
is a
she told
lovely
me.
lady.
She
Yeah,
told
that's
me to
great.
ask you, and I was like, okay.
Yes. Will you tell her I said hey?
I will.
please? Yeah, I love her. And Gracie, where are you?
I'm from Cairo, Georgia.
Great. Well, we're all from the same area. We know where each other is. I'm in Pelham, which is right there by Cairo and Thomasville and Valdosta. I went to school in Valdosta. I got my undergraduate degree there, so I love Valdosta. I love Valdosta. Love all Valdosta. And then Thomas, did somebody say they were from Thomasville?
Me.
You are. And
Yes,
how
ma'am.
do you? Okay, I'm going to ask you because I don't want to murder your name. How do you say your name?
Amaya Patey.
Amaya. I thought that's the way it was. I'm so glad I asked because I
Yes.
can really mess up. And Sailor, I know Sailor. Sailor and I know each other well. I don't know if y'all know Sailor, but we had a class and it was just me and Sailor. So
It was
we had
so fun.
it was quite unusual. That had been a while since I'd had just one student, so we got to know each other well. And Sailor's wonderful, and glad to have you back with us, Sailor.
Glad to be back.
I hope you all had a wonderful holiday season. I hope your holidays were good to you. And I'm assuming you were all probably paraprofessionals at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Well, then you have a better chance of probably being highly successful in our education program than those that don't. Because as I've shared with Sailor last semester, you're coming from a different mindset in that you are in the trenches every day. What we'll be talking about, you will be seeing, you'll be observing in your classes, and it's real to you. And you have a better, in my opinion, you'll be a better teacher because of your time as a para. And if you don't know that, I'm telling you that because it's very true. And I, on the other hand, am from the other side of the coin. See, when I went into education, I had a 4-year degree, but it was in public relations and speech communications, and I decided to go into education, so I had to go back and take education courses. So when I went into the education classroom, I was very green in that I knew nothing. And so you won't have that experience. You will know because you've been there and you see it every day. So that is very uplifting and refreshing. And I've got to count this. I think at this point there are 6 of you. Renisha, did I say it right?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I wanted to make sure I had your name said
Yes, ma'am.
correctly. All right. And so we'll let Sailor and Cheyenne turn on their cameras and we will get started so everybody can be on the same page. Cheyenne may be getting adjusted. I understand. Give her a few minutes. Now, Renisha, where are you? Where are you located? What town?
I am located in Thomasville, Georgia.
Yay! Oh, good old Thomasville. That's my shopping mecca. That's where I go do all my shopping.
Yes,
Love
ma'am.
Thomasville. I love Thomasville. I love it for many reasons. All right, and let me see who. And Cheyenne, we haven't been able to introduce you. And where are you located?
I'm in Turner County.
Turner County. Oh yes. Okay. Yeah, we're all in the Southwest Georgia area, so I always enjoy this course. I always enjoy this class because it's usually people from around the area. A lot of my master level classes, it's people all over the state of Georgia. So it's refreshing to see my South Georgia peeps. And I'm assuming those that have just joined us, you are paraprofessionals at this time. Is that your role in the school, paraprofessional, Cheyenne
Yes,
and
ma'am.
Renisha? Great. All right. The next thing I want to share out, or want you to share out to me, is what grade level you are currently working with. And Allie, I'll start at the top if you'll just share.
Pre-K.
Oh, love pre-K. That's my love. Amaya. I'm sorry, babe. Couldn't hear you.
Pre-K.
Pre-K. All right. Good. 2 pre-K teachers. All right. Renisha.
I work with 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Wow. That's a different concept. Now, are you interested is that your major? Middle
Yes,
school?
ma'am. Middle grade.
Okay. Well, listen, this course, has both. It has the ECE group, it has the middle group, and I've even taught this course where I've had some secondary people. So it really applies to everybody. But it is for the children and the adolescents. So we're going to cover a lot of stuff, Renisha, that you'll be able to take back to the classroom.
Okay.
Sailor, you're still in pre-K, I assume? Okay.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
Okay, great. And Cheyenne, I don't know if I asked you, what are you?
I'm in first grade.
Oh, love first grade. Love first grade. I didn't teach. I only taught kindergarten. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. Now I've only taught kindergarten, but I did enjoy first grade when I worked with the intervention class. I did. All right. Gracie, you've popped out on us. I think she said something about an animal got away. She's trying to get an animal right now, so we'll come back to her later. Well, it is my pleasure to be your guide in this course. I really love this course. I think you're going to love it too. It's not the hardest course you'll ever take. It's not really that difficult. There are some major assignments in it that we'll be looking at today. It's very doable. I think that you will find them very much enjoyable, as well as preparing you for your own classroom. When you leave Thomas University, you will be in your first owned classroom teaching all the subjects, probably if you're in elementary, and if you're in middle school, you may have a subject area. But the point is, you'll be ready. That's what Thomas University really strives in saying, is that we prepare our students very well. And I think anyone that's taken any of our classes will testify to that. I'm going to go ahead at this time and share out my screen. I believe that's what I want to do. And I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this side by side. Now, I don't know if this is going to work. I'll do this too. Okay. And let's see. Can you see my screen? Yes, I see. I
Yes,
assume
ma'am.
you can see it. Great. Okay, good. All right. I'm going to pull this over here where I can see it. Well, I don't know. I'll leave it there. All right. What I promised is what I hope to deliver today as far as information that we're going to be looking at. I prepared an agenda. I like an agenda because I think it helps you as well as me as we go through the different things we need to during class. Usually during class, I will have some sort of, hold on just a minute. I see a message. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, that was Gracie. But usually in our classes, I don't spend a lot of time in lecture. I do that I provide that in a different manner. But I really like for you to do something in the class where you are working with colleagues. So probably each time we meet, there'll be something we'll work on in a breakout room, and then we'll come back together and present out. I really like that format. I think it helps you. I think you begin to, I'm going to stop this share because I cannot see your faces, and that really annoys me. But anyway, I feel like that by having something to do in class and by you going into a breakout room with your cohorts, I believe you develop a better relationship with them, and you learn from each other far more than you will learn from me. So I enjoy this about my classes. That's the way I provide all my classes. So usually we'll have something to work on. We're not going to do that today. Today we're going to really just be a listening mode, and you're going to hear a lot about the course and what's involved in the course. And then this will set the tone, and you'll know exactly what you have to do, because I believe that is very important. So at the beginning of the agenda, we are just looking, I'm not going to go over the syllabus. You're intelligent enough to read it on your own. But to me, a syllabus is just so, it doesn't really get to the meat of the matter. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to go back into my share mode, and I will try to share out, make sure I've got it on view. Yeah, it's on gallery. Huh. Okay, well, I'm going to do content only, share. Okay. Now, where is that at? Let's see. Okay, so as we look at this, I'm going to page down a little bit, because the first thing I'm going to talk about is the annotated bibliography. That is a rather large assignment. And it's one that is given out at the very beginning of the course, and it is not due until the end of the course, which is excellent. So you have a long time to work on it, but the main thing here is you do not want to procrastinate about this assignment. And it is something that allows you to really get a good grasp of children's literature. You're going in, you are looking for books, you're looking for fiction, you're looking for nonfiction, you're looking for poems. There are some specifics that you will need to know about this assignment. And if I can, I will go into the module here and we'll pull that up and look at it briefly. Just let me know if you can see my screen, somebody. Can y'all see my screen?
It's like an oceanic animal.
Okay, it must have left the stop the share. Hold on, we'll share again. It's not the end of the world. Hold on. Let's see. Takes a little maneuvering. There we go. Here is the annotated bibliography directions. And I'm not going to sit here and read it to you, but I am going to tell you that you need, to give you an idea how big this assignment is, you will look for fiction texts. You will look for 10 texts from various genres. And then you would have to have the following information in there about those books. Now, it is not asking you to go out and find these books and physically put this together. This is more or less where you're just taking a picture of the book, the cover, and using it in your bibliography, but you are not actually going out and physically getting these books. I have had some students who have in the past actually used this to create their own classroom library. That is all up to you. The only requirement here is that you take a photo of the cover of the book. The big part of it is trying to get all this information about the text or the book. That will be what would be more, I guess, difficult, because that's a lot of stuff there you have to go into and find on each of those books. All right, so that's the fiction text. Then you have to have 10 nonfiction texts, again, from a variety of genres. And then the same thing would do, you would go in and take a picture of that book and put it into and you can, since you're online, you can do this in a digital format, meaning that you could create a PowerPoint and you could literally put the book on a page in the PowerPoint and have the picture and have all the information there on the page. That's as simple as it gets. And then you would need 10 poems. And a lot of times students ask about, well, what does that mean? Does that mean I have to have 10 books of poems? Well, you might find a poem in a book, and it's not necessarily a book of poems. It could be something that you stumble across. You could use that as a poem. But the main thing is that you would have different types of poems that you would want to have in your bibliography. And so this is something that you don't need to, like I said, wait to the last minute to do. You could kind of talk to yourself and say, okay, I'm going to do maybe 5 books this week, or, I would start working on it now so that you don't wake up in the end and say, oh my gosh, I haven't even started. And then you're crushed for time and then it just becomes a hot mess. So I strongly suggest, it's given to you the first week of the course. Go ahead and set up some time to start thinking about what kind of books would I like to include. Now, as far as grade level is concerned, there is a connection to the grade level where you have to talk about how the book would be used in, the grade level and so you could have, for instance, if you're in middle grade, your books may be all in the middle grade concept area. That is fine. Or if you're in the younger areas, if you're in the pre-K and the kinder, your books may be in all that area. So that is left up to you. But you will have to show in this bibliography, there are reading strategies you have to show. And then I believe there is a mention of connection to standards. So you have to connect it to a standard, and that means you have to connect it to a grade level. So that is important, that it is looked at, grade level wise. But there's nothing like in there that says you have to have so many books for first grade, so many books for fifth grade, or anything like that. There's no limitations on that. All right, so that is one of the first things that we introduce. And you can, it's all there for you. It's already showing, I believe, in your first week module, but it is something that you want to, start working on and start, getting some ideas as to where you might want to go with that. All right, so I'm going to take us back over to if I can get this screen to move. So hard doing this. All right, let me see. Let me go back over here. Hold on. Here we go. So I don't believe it's going to do that. I believe I'm going to have to do like this. Okay, let's go back like this. Let's put this up here. Okay, so we're going to go back to our agenda. If I can find it. There we go. Okay, see what the next topic is. This week, we're going to just briefly discuss in a little while the literature in the classroom and how you feel about literature. We'll talk about that in a minute. There are some major assignments in the course, and I've made a list of them here. There's an annotated bibliography you will work on from the start. There is an author study. There is a read aloud lesson plan requirement. There is a requirement that you will create a children's book on your own, and that this will be focusing on diversity, because we know that good quality literature does offer diversity to our students as we are reading aloud to them. And then we have, of course, a vocabulary lesson plan that you will work on. You will teach one lesson from that plan to us in class. So you don't have to teach all of them. You just pick one that you like from the week and teach it to us as your peers, and we will pretend like we're in whatever grade level you are working from. And then there's a comprehension lesson plan we'll be working on, and again, we'll teach one lesson, you will, to us as peers. And then, of course, there's a final, and the final is where you will select one of the comprehension strategies, and you'll build up a mini lesson requirement. Those are the major assignments, and I believe, if you'll give me just a minute, I'll stop this share, but I'm going to go back in and pick up this page here because I want you to see this. Hold on just a minute. Takes me a minute. Let's see. Modules, that's what I want. Okay, in that first module, as of this morning, I shared out this right here, and you may have already viewed this, I'm not sure, but this is definitely giving you an idea of what is ahead. Now, all of this is not due now, so take a breath. Nothing is on the board right now. It's going to take us a while to get to these different assignments, and those due dates do pop up for you, so you will not be caught off guard. But this just gives you a general statement about each of these assignments if you wanted to go back and read this. But it does basically, all of these assignments are aligned to the science of reading. And that brings me to this point. Now, I'm assuming you all have had RDE 452. Thumbs up. Okay. And the middle grade person probably has not. You have not had that course, but by ECE people have. Now, in ECE, we teach out in the RDE 452 course, we teach out basically the understanding of phonemic awareness, phonics, and fluency. Is that what your course did? Is that where you focused your time on? Yes. Those are three pillars that we know in order to teach reading. Now, here we are focused on comprehension and vocabulary. That's where we're going to focus the two pillars on in this course. The first course didn't have anything to do with comprehension. That was kind of kept aside, and so was the vocabulary. In this course, we're going to dive deep into comprehension and vocabulary. And so that is where you're seeing these assignments. These major assignments are all about comprehension and vocabulary. And all of this is tied to the science of reading. Now, I know that is nothing new to you. You're probably experiencing that in your own school system right now because the state of Georgia passed standards or redid our standards for our teacher preparedness programs with the one that you're in now. We have aligned this course with the science of reading so that you are prepared, number one, to go out and perform in your school according to the science of reading, as well as the GACE. You will all have to take the GACE in the fall of 2026, I believe, before you graduate. You do have to take it, and you want to be prepared, and that's what we aim to do, and that's why all of our assignments are aligned with the science of reading in mind, so that you're ready for that classroom. Do most of you, or have you had training in the science of reading? Have your schools used the Rollins Center or any type of preparedness? I see a thumbs up there. Cheyenne's got it going on. Has anyone else had to do this? Any kind of prepared work with the science of reading? Okay. Well, it's coming. Your school may, there may be some other form they're using. I know over in Grady County, they made their teachers do the letters training, and I did the letters training, and let me tell you, that was really a lot of work. So I prefer the Rollins Center. I think it's much more doable for someone that's a teacher and working and trying to keep everything in balance. It's much easier to do it that way. But our course is aligned with the science of reading, so you should be well prepared when you leave, and you will know what to do. That's what we want you to feel like. All right, so we're going to go back one more time, and I'm going to pull this out. I can get to it. And let's go back, and we're going to go back to our agenda to check out that. And let's see, where is the agenda? Modules. We're going to come down to that. There it is. All right. This is just to make sure I cover everything. I've already counted everybody present, so we've handled that. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is this independent professional reading requirement. One thing that we looked at when we viewed our courses is there's not a lot of information out there on how to teach students how to write. This is something that we spend a lot of time doing in our classrooms, working with writing, getting kids to write. A lot of the complaints are children can't write. It's very difficult to get them to write. And so this lady, Joan Sadita, is a science of reading, writing guru, if you will. She knows it all. She has a book here, if you're familiar with the reading rope, which you learned in 452. This is the writing rope, and she literally has the rope just like you see in the reading. She has it outlined for writing. It is a highly very, very, very informative book, and it is a book that I will say this: you are more likely to keep this book as a resource, and you will probably be more likely to use this in your future classrooms. She starts off, and it does seem as if it is for just maybe middle grades or upper grades, but she does come in with our younger grades and talking about how we teach writing to them. Basically, this is a format that she suggests works well, and it does because it is explicitly taught. It is not like, okay, sit down and write about, your day at the circus. No. This is much more hands-on. It's more explicit. It's more detailed in modeling, because we know students are more successful if you model for them, or if you do the gradual release method where I do, we do, and then you do. And she uses that in this book. So your job will be to read this independently as you're taking this course. And then every 4 weeks, you will see a new chapter pop up. Now, right now, what is showing in the modules that you can see, and I'm going to have to stop the share again because I'm going to show you the module. So we'll go back over here. Give me a minute. And let's go down here to where that is. There it is right there. All right. Is everybody with me? Y'all haven't fell out yet, have you? Okay, hang in. Hang in there. It's a lot of me talking, which I don't like. Okay, so we're going to look at this. And, yes. And this is right under week 1 right now. It's the Writing Road, a framework for explicit writing instruction in all subjects, Joan Sedita. And basically, you're going to read chapter 1, and then you're going to come in here, and you have until January 23rd to answer the questions for this first part, and it's only 6 questions. But the main thing is that you read it, and then you answer the questions, so you are well aware of what this chapter offers in chapter 1. And it will help you as you begin to understand what her processes are. Now, one other thing I want to do right quick, like, is as we are talking about that book, I want to show you that book. You may have purchased all your books. I don't know, but this is what that book looks like. Can you see that? Okay, this is what it looks like. It's going to readjust, I think. Okay, The Writing Road, and it's by this is by Joanne Sedita. Now, you're going to need to purchase this one. You want this one in your hands. So if you have not purchased this book, you might want to go ahead and start the processes. I don't think it's that much, but I would definitely purchase this. This next book we are looking at is the children's literature. This is what it looks like from the cover. This book I would purchase through the ebook. It is very easy to do, and it is most user-friendly. If you like to read and highlight, that's the way to go. Now, if you want to just purchase the physical book, if you're a person that has to have that in your hand, this is fine. But it is the Essentials of Children's Literature. It is listed in the syllabus and in the module, I believe, textbooks. You'll see it there. You will have to go through Pearson Publishing Company to find this book. And I believe in order to get this book, you're going to have to go through Brooks Publishing. Now, it may be linked up with the bookstore. I'm not sure. It is. I see somebody shaking their head. Okay, good.
Who's the writing right by again? Joan what?
Joan Sedita. There it is right there. Sedita. I'm sorry, my hand's over. Sedita. Sedita.
Okay.
And we'll be looking at some of her some of the other things that she says and does. But these are very important. Now, you should have already purchased this book. And this is the multi-sensory teaching of basic language skills. This is the encyclopedia. Okay, this is where the information lies about what we're going to learn about comprehension. We're going to take the comprehension chapter and we're going to dissect it. We're going to chunk it so it's not one whole assignment. It will be several assignments where we will read, answer questions, and it will really give you a very good view. The reason why I love this book is because this book that I'm talking about, guys, offers you research-based strategies. Now, how many of you have heard that? Oh, it has to be research-based. It has to be research-based. Have you ever heard anyone say that to you? Yes. There's a reason why. These comprehension strategies that are in this book that we're going to learn about, they all work. Okay? When I mean they work, there's proven practice here where students have been given these strategies and they have actually gone in there and tested it to see, does it really work? Well, if you're dealing with students that are having difficulties in reading and let's say comprehension, you don't want to be messing around with something that's not research-based. Understand what that means. That means they're saying, look, if you use this, your kids will improve. Another reason why I love this book, and it does totally align with the science of reading. If you don't know that, you should now. This book gives you the studies that they've done to prove that these strategies work, but it also greatly highlights how students with learning disabilities, it will say this strategy works with students with learning disabilities. This strategy works with students, yada, yada. It keeps saying I'm joining the meeting. It is because I have to. Okay. It's okay, Sailor. Do whatever you have to do. You're okay. You're online. We see you. You're good. Yes, so I really love this book. And like I said, we will break it down where it is literally you are like, oh my God, we got to do this again. But it is very good because you are learning new strategies. Some of them are not new. Some of them you're probably familiar with. But you really quickly begin to see how important it is that you really are using research-based strategies with your students. And you're not just fooling around. You're serious. You're trying to make an improvement in their work. And why not use something that's research-based, that there's been a study done over the strategy and that it says it works. And usually when it says it works, it usually does. So those are the 3 books for this class. That's a lot. But technically,
So we don't need the workbook that pairs with that we had to have last semester.
we may use that. I'm not going to say we're going to use that a lot. So, I know if you've already purchased it, you have it.
Mm-hmm.
I do know this. We do use that a lot in 455.
Okay.
So keep it. Don't throw it away. Don't resell it or anything like that. But thank you for mentioning that, because I didn't really, it is listed here, but I really don't think we are using it. But we really do use all 3 books. You'll find, I don't know if you can do it without, is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that books are expensive and you don't want to buy a book if I'm not going to use it. I understand that. But I will say this. I think all 3 of those books would be great books to have in a classroom library of your own, for your own self. So I would keep, is what I would do, because you're going to need them as you move on. All right. So that's a little blurb about the books. Now let's move back and I'll pull up that agenda one more time. Where are we? Went too far up. There we go. Okay. Now, let me go in here and share this. Okay, so covered quite a bit so far. Let me see right here. I want to make sure I've covered everything else. Yes. Okay, so now we're just going to have some general information about what is quality literature, what is quality children's literature, what does that look like. Here we see that, first of all, it is, quality literature in children and adolescents is widely regarded, and it is usually award-winning. You see here on the screen, there are several awards, and if you've ever paid attention to the books that are in your school library, where your children go in and check them out, especially in elementary school, it was very prominent. But you will notice the Newbery Medal and the Caldecott Medal. Those are 2 awards that are usually, if a book has been given that award, they have placed that medal on that book. I know Jan Brett, she does a lot of beautiful artistic work with her writing. She's an illustrator as well as a writer, and her books have won one or the other, the Newbery or the Caldecott. And what I'm saying is that emblem is on the book. Have any of you ever noticed that? Speak up if you have. Have you ever noticed these particular award-winning books when you looked in the library? Anybody? Okay. So I challenge you this week when you're in your school library to look for that, because you'll see it. A lot of times those books are featured as books they want students to read, and they'll have them out visually so they can see them. But that is one indicator that this is a really good book. And then it would have to have quality of it contains rich and meaningful language, powerful and engaging images. I mean, you know as well as I do, small children especially, they are engaged with what? Pictures. Pictures tell the story for children. They love to look at pictures. That's why when we start out reading to children, we have picture books that we read. It demonstrates craftsmanship, including clear and effective writing, well-developed dialogue, and coherent structure. It presents an engaging story or theme. And if you think about it, most of the books that we do read alouds from are very engaging. And with your expression and how you read to them, and they will just lap it up. There's nothing better than a good quality read aloud. All right, so then we move down the page just a little bit, and it says what defines quality literature? Conveys meaningful truths about human experience. Children love that. They understand that. They want to know more about that. It invokes emotional responses. It stands the test of time. If you will look at some of those Caldecott or those Newbery Award-winning books, those books have been around forever, and that's why. Let's see. Yes, it includes well-developed characters, compelling plots. Yes, rich language, and encourages critical thinking, reflection, and discussion. All of this is what we're looking for when we're looking at what we should be reading to our students, or what our students should be reading. And what is considered it for adolescents? Okay, so adolescent literature is strong character development and clear backstories, relevant and engaging topics for teens. They identify with things that they are interested in. Meaningful journeys that connect readers to characters, and multiple perspectives that deepen understanding of the story and the characters. I will stop here for just a minute because I want to talk to you for just a minute. Now, I believe it is Renisha, you're in middle school. What would you say? I don't know why my hand is up. That's funny. But what would you say your students are interested in as teenagers or preteens?
They're more so kind of interested in like video games, of course.
Yes.
They love video games. Let's see. They like it's kind of like a diverse music. Let's see what else they kind of
do. They like sports? Are they
sports?
Sports. Some
Sports,
of them are. Yes.
Sports, music, video games, fashion. Fashion
Oh
is
yes.
at the
Big
middle
fan.
school. I didn't know it was such a big thing now. Like it's very diverse.
Wow. Well, this qualifies all this as being a part of what would qualify as good literature, because y'all, you know as well as I do, if you're not interested in something, you're very much likely, if you read it, you're not gonna remember it, or you're not going to comprehend it. If it's something you're interested in, then you're all ears. I mean, I am. I mean, I'm going to be very frank about it. It took me a long time to become an avid reader. And I remember that I read, but it wasn't like a ferocious reader. And then I was in college, and I remember it hit me. But I found something I was interested in, and then I just went nuts over reading. And so I think it's a maturity thing. Like some people just don't mature as quickly as others. For some, you see kids that just can't keep their hands off of a book. There's some kids out there like that. Not everybody's like that. My son was horrible, and is a fine young man now, and is a ferocious reader. But in middle school, he would lie to me and tell me, "Oh yes, I met that AR goal." He hadn't even come close to it. I mean, just tell. He's a preacher too. But anyway, what I'm saying is that he was just like me in a way. It took him a while to mature to it, and he hated the idea of reading. He really did. And the AR was not an incentive for him. It was more crushing to him. Like, God, I hate this. So I don't have a problem with AR, But you need to think about those students in your classroom that don't like it. If you do AR, I know our school here cut it out, and I think there's valid points to AR. But if they're not a motivated reader, AR doesn't work for everybody. Does anybody's school still use AR? Yours?
I think my
Yeah,
school
we-
does.
Do you see children? I'm sure you do. You see children loving it?
Not.
And some do, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And if you're pre-K, you're probably not seeing it at all. You know, y'all are down there in pre-K, I understand. But like, you will see some students that are just like ready to meet that next goal. You know, they promise them all kind of stuff, and he would just, I don't care about that. I'm not doing that. He just was terrible. So understand that not everybody is going to be, as you already know, loving reading. Some kids just don't, and you need to know how to combat that, because you got to, because we want our children to be better readers, all of them. So I'm just going to page down this way. I'm not going to share out the screen now, but we're going to look at some of the thoughts that you may have about reading. Like, what types of reading experiences do you remember maybe in elementary school? Does anybody have a something that they remember about their reading that inspired them, or you really liked it?
For me, I think I enjoyed like going to like pick different genres of books. Like the books were interesting back then. I don't know if any of my peers read this, but a lot of Diary Wimpy kid books, Junie B. Jones books.
Yes.
Like those were the level of the genres. They were interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I like those books too.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody's school at that time what we did, or they did in first grade, they read a portion of Junie B every day to the children. The teacher read it to the children. And y'all, it was just magical. They loved it. Did any of your teachers read to you a book like that, a continuing book?
Yes, and we still do that today in pre-K as well.
Oh, do y'all read Junie B. Jones?
No, but we read like a small little book, and we do like clips of it basically. Instead of just reading the whole book,
Yes.
we talk about
Yes.
it and stuff.
Oh, I love that. That is so good. I don't know. I guess when my hand goes up, when I raise my hand, that thing goes off. I don't know. Anyway, but yes, so that's a lovely memory. And I think that was very popular back when I was teaching school, was to do the Junie B. Jones and read a portion every day. And I remember when I was in elementary school, this is a definite memory I had. I was in 5th grade. And I hated 5th grade. 5th grade was a terrible year for me. I was not academically successful at all. It was horrible. Horrible. Ugh. But the one thing I remembered about this particular teacher I had, she read a chapter a day from a Nancy Drew mystery. Oh, wow. Loved it. She was a good reader, and she read well, and it was just, you just hung on your seat, And so that was my introduction to Nancy Drew. I thought that was really cool. But anybody else share out a memory they have, whether it be elementary, middle, or your high school career? Yes, go ahead, Cheyenne.
I remember when I was going into high school, I fell in love with reading so much, I decided to eat my lunch in the library and became a librarian assistant in there.
Yes.
Very, very big nerd. But back to the Junie B. Jones that you were talking about, sadly, it is now banned in a lot of public libraries in the school systems due to her being mouthy. A lot of parents didn't agree because of her behavior.
Well,
So we no longer have it in our school system because
Really?
of it being on the banned list.
Oh my God. Oh, see, I had no idea. You've told me something I had no idea over. Wow.
They've put a lot of books on the banned list that you're not allowed to have in the public school systems anymore. That we read when we were younger that introduced you to chapter books.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'll be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with Junie B. She was just a loud mouth. She said what she thought. There's nothing wrong with that. You got children like that in your room every day.
Yeah.
Think about how many loud mouths you got in there.
Mm-hmm.
You got one or two that's going to always tell you what they think.
Yes.
What's wrong with that? People, we need to raise people that know how to think on their own and make their don't even go there. That is just awful. Oh, horrible. You know, that I'm telling you now, that is very discouraging to me. But anyway, we all have memories. Like you said, you became like you just love being that library assistant. You know, did it encourage you like to get into books?
I'd always loved books. My mama had a library in her room. She was a previous teacher.
Oh yeah.
So her spare room was full of books. But of
Sure.
course there were adult books that I
Yeah.
wouldn't have grabbed.
Right.
So when I got into the library setting, they would give me brand new books that they hadn't put out on the shelf yet. And they're like, hey, read this. Let me know if this is suitable for just high school or if it's middle school as well. And how do we need to classify it?
Well, that's wonderful. That's a wonderful thing that you did. And that just helped you so much. That's awesome.
So now I have my own library
There
in my
you go.
house. And
There you
I've
go.
kept all my childhood books.
Wonderful. And listen, that will serve you so well when you go into your own classroom because you can just take all those books and put them in there.
Mhm.
And that's something I always did, guys. I always had my own classroom library. I mean, we went to the library, you know, you go to the library every week or every 2 weeks or whatever it is. But I had books in that room those children could at any time, and that was in a different era. And this is going into a different class, but everything should be developmentally appropriate, shouldn't it, Sailor? And we just spent 16 weeks together talking about what is developmentally appropriate. But what I'm saying is, when I had centers, one was the book center, and they could go over there and pick up a book and sit down and look at it in a little table or whatever. And and they loved it. They loved it. They'd go over there and act like they were reading to each other. All that's very important. That is building reading skills. Even though they didn't know what they were reading or they were just playing, it was still building skills. And it's so important. And children need that positivity around, you know, going to the library and checking out a book, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So it all builds in how we view our own experiences. The way you are going to, I'm going to say this, the way you will approach teaching is very much the way you like to be taught. Does that make sense? You know, a lot of it comes from your personality. Whatever your personality is, will reflect in your teaching. It will. And how you view things. Like, for instance, I hate math. I mean, you could not get me to go near math. I taught kindergarten math, and that was about as far as I went. But I'm telling you, I have nothing positive to say about math. Nothing. So I am the last person on the face of the earth that should ever really teach math because it's just not in my DNA. Now, reading or social studies or even science and history, love it, but not math. So what I'm saying is your personal experiences will reflect in how you approach children's literature, how you approach your teaching. And that's very important to consider. And that's what this reflection is all about. So how were you taught to read and engage with text? Does anybody recall how they were taught to read or how it was put forth to you?
I mean, it was brought out from the basics, phonological awareness, and then into things that you liked. You would have to learn how to write small stories about things you like, and then they'd put books in front of you, be like, hey, this is kind of like what you like.
That's right. Very good. Anybody else?
For me, I would agree with what Cheyenne said, and I think like when we were in school, you know, like elementary school, and AR was like really reinforced. We had to, if you wanted the good grades, you know, you had to sit down and read and
Yes.
you know do homework, spelling and writing. Like it really all tied into one another.
Mm-hmm. It does. It does. It does. Yes. And those things stay with you. Now, I will give you my perspective. I am much older than you guys, quite a bit older, but things were different when I came around. I was born in 1963, and so I was a part of integration. And I remember distinctly being taught how to read using a basal reader. And it was and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but it had the characters of Dick, Sally, Jane, Spot, the dog. They were all white. Everybody in that book was white. There was not one black person in that book. It was not diverse. There was no diversity. And then we had the black children in our classroom. What do they have to identify with in that book? Nothing. And that is something else that you need to consider, is the level of diversity. Is it there or is it not? And if it's not, it doesn't need to be in your classroom, because you are teaching to a diverse crowd of students. They're not all the same. They're all different, and they come from different walks of life. And your literature should reflect that in your selections. You should keep that in mind, because it helps build a relationship with your students. I remember this one little Hispanic girl. She came in and told me, she says, I have a new dress. And I said, wow, what kind of dress do you have? And it was her older sister's, I believe you say señora, whatever that is. That's when they're like 15 and they have, what is it?
A quinceañera.
That's it. I knew it was something señora. And she said, I want to bring my dress. I want to wear my dress. Well, of course she can wear her dress, And then I remember that we read a book about a little girl in her dress. And, it just helps build that relationship. And not only that, but a love for reading. So you have to look for those things. But my perspective was very different than your perspective of learning to read. And another thing to point out is I did not learn to read phonetically. I learned to read by sight. It wasn't until I was in the 3rd grade that they introduced phonics, and really it was just phonics. And we were completely shot out of the bucket because we didn't know what that was, and we were lost. Because we had already learned to read, but we had learned by reading sight words, or what they now call heart words. So there's different perspectives out there with everyone as to how they learn to read. My daughter was unsuccessful with phonics because she had a learning disability, but yet she learned to read really more through sight words. So you have to make all those considerations when you are teaching reading, because one way is not going to be how it is for everybody. There's always a different route. Let's see. How did these experiences influence your motivation or your confidence or even your level of comprehension? What was it that really you think maybe motivated you to want to read?
The prizes at the end of the AR contests.
There you go.
Yeah, I was about to say, I remember if you read a certain amount of books, I feel like there was like a poster with like a star at the top and you wanted to like get to the top.
Climbing, yep.
Yeah.
I remember I had a teacher, her name was Miss Reinhardt, and she was huge on AR because if the class had the most AR points out of all of them, our principal at the time, Dr. Huff, gave the teacher like something. And so she pushed everybody. She was like, hey, y'all need to be reading these books. And if you're done, because we won't go to the library for like every 2 weeks, she said, pass your book to a neighbor and y'all just swap books around the room. And I remember the week before, she was cramming us to get online and take our AR tests and pushing us to take our AR tests so that her class had the most AR points.
Yeah, she was motivated. She was motivating, and she was motivating her class. And in the long run, I'm sure that most of the students in there enjoyed it and was happy to do it. Yeah, so that's a great motivating tool. Students react to how you react. They react to you. And if there's one thing most elementary school students want to do is to please their teacher. So there's that. Okay. So it says next, rate your current love of reading. Like, would you say it's a 10 or would you say it's a 1? How would you rate, each of you rate your, I'd say mine's a 10. I'd go with a 10 right now.
Mine's a 10.
10?
Yeah.
I say mine's probably like a 7 right now. 7.
Girl, get a Kindle. Carry a Kindle around.
The Kindle.
Mine's an 8.
Yes.
I love books, but I'm so ADD that like I can't sit and just read, but I love Audible and I love to listen to books.
You need to do the graphic audios. It gives everybody their own voice. So if there's a man, a woman, or anybody else, they're their own characters. It's
Okay.
literally a movie in your mind. It has the background music, background noise. If someone drops pots and pans, you hear it. You hear them cooking.
Wow.
It's
That's
amazing.
cool.
A whole
Now,
nother
is that
level.
what did you call that? What was
It's called Graphic Audio. It's an app you can download.
I've seen that ad.
It is
That is neat.
so good.
I love
Do
Audible,
you
but
know how important that is, though? Do you suppose they offer that on like for children that have learning disabilities that, as you said, have
They're
ADHD?
new, so they're trying to branch out to different
Wow.
books that they've. So at first they started doing like the newer European books before they could get the copyrights to get access to like the really popular books.
Right.
And so now they're
Well-
doing like Throne of Glass series, the Zodiac Academy,
Uh-huh.
ACOTAR, Fourth Wing, all of those they've thrown out.
one teacher that I observed, this is similar to this. I don't know what it's called. It's a website or an app, I guess. But she was a kindergarten teacher, and when she would read the books, it would have, it's not the same thing. It doesn't read the book for you, but when you read the book, it's got the sound effects like throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what
Wow.
that was called, but I thought that was engaging too. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
So-
and listen, some children need that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they need that in order to be engaged. You know, that would really be good. Yes. Yes, I think so. And I love an audiobook. And I know my daughter struggled in reading some books for school, and they provided an audiobook for her, and that really helped. Yes, I think all those supports need to be given to children to inspire them to read. So we all sound like we're all pretty avid readers. I think you all indicated that. And then as it moves on, it says finally explain why you feel this way. Consider whether instruction supported or hindered your understanding of text, the role of vocabulary and background knowledge, text, how your experiences may shape you as you approach reading instruction as a future teacher. Well, overall, how do you think your experience in literature reading will shape the way you approach instruction as a future teacher?
I mean, with a love of reading, you're going to help instill into other children a love of reading and a love of writing because you can't have one without both.
That's right.
So it's just a whole nother generation of children who want to go towards some form of reading literature or, writing their own stories.
Yes, very important. Very important. And how we perceive things will be how we do them as a teacher. I know that. So very nicely done. Very nicely done. So in the closing down here at the bottom, it does have something down here on this sheet. I'm trying to move my cursor. Give me a minute. It will not move. Why won't it move? There it is. Oh, this thing goes everywhere. Not where I want it. Okay, we'll try this. There it goes. Oh, let's see. This thing is all tracking. Go. Okay, I'm going to share this out with you. I think that would be best. Then you can see it. Hang on just a minute. We'll go over this. Y'all see closing note?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so at the bottom here are kind of like where I have gone through and listed the duties and the responsibilities on a weekly basis. There'll be weekly reading requirements. There is a discussion board that you have starting in week 1 and goes all the way through week 12. And after 12, there are no more. You will need to monitor upcoming deadlines and plan ahead for major assignments. And right now, the only major assignment that has been shared out is the annotated bibliography. Remain current with the independent professional reading requirement. That means you need to be working along with the book on the writing road. You'll do that in chunks and the first one is due January 23rd. And then for group assignments, they'll be completed during class. And you want to label your submission with the assignment title, your name, names of all the group members, and submit the complete group assignment to the designated Canvas Dropbox no later than the Saturday of the meeting. If we had a group project today, you would want to have that submitted by 11:59 tonight, is what that means. All right. So, what I want to go from here and mention is, let me stop share this. When I release week 2, which will be tomorrow afternoon, you're going to see some information that's going to pop up there about a group project we will work on in class next Saturday the 24th. I'm going to go ahead and give you the information because some of it you're going to have to go ahead and do before class. But then when we come to class, you will be in your assigned groups. I'll put you in the breakout rooms. You'll work on the assignment, and then we'll come back together and we'll present out. But this assignment is different because I'm asking you to do some pre-work ahead of time. So you're going to see the point value for this assignment is high. There's like 50 points available. And the reason why is because you're doing pre-work during the week leading up to the actual group assignment. And I felt like you needed points for the work you did prior to, as well as what you do in your groups. But I feel like that it's just a better way to be engaged in the class. It's better than sitting here and just listening to somebody talk for an hour and 30 minutes. You feel more a part of the course, and you have an opportunity to work with your colleagues here. And so there are 6 of you. Unfortunately for Sailor, there was only 1 of her. So a lot of the group projects were just not group projects at all. She had to do everything on her own. So at least you have cohorts here in this class that we could at least have 2 groups. And that's the way this next assignment will go down, is that we will have 2 working groups, and you'll go in your breakout rooms, and then we'll come back after we do it. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that the breakdown of the course and like what happens. The first part of the course, these first couple of weeks, it is all about the literature. Okay, there's that hand up. I didn't do that. This book right here will be our focus, okay, for the first couple of weeks. We're going to stay close to this book. You will find some lectures. There's not much. I think there's maybe 2. A little quiz. Just take it after the lecture. It's no big deal. You will have all the answers within. But we're going to focus on the literature aspect of the course first. After we do that, then we will go into a I guess you would say, a deep analysis of the comprehension strategies that the multi-sensory book outlines. And we'll do that. And then we'll talk about vocabulary. And then towards the kind of like, I guess really, you don't really have a major assignment as far as the lesson plans. I believe they come after the first 8 weeks. And then we'll have those important lesson plans like the read alouds and the comprehension and the vocabulary are really after the first 8 weeks. So that gives you an idea how things are going to roll. So I look forward to doing all of it with you. I think you are going to enjoy it and really have some takeaways from the course after it's over with, which I always kind of look for when I took a course. I wanted something that I could take back to the classroom. So anyone would like to offer their beginning thoughts as we are winding down? Tell me what you think.
I think this will be a very fun and interesting course. We'll dive deep into learning more about reading and literature and how children understand. And I think it'll be interesting and fun.
I do too.
I
Anybody
agree
else?
with Renisha. I feel like it's going to help bring out our inner children, our love for books again, especially with having to go and find almost 30 different between
Yes.
books and poems and stuff like that, and working towards those.
Yeah.
Like,
And
we're probably
everybody,
going to find books that we read, and we're like, oh, I forgot this book even existed.
that's right. And again, remember, I'm not asking you to physically put together those 10 books. You can just take a picture of the cover and you're good, and it goes into your thing. I've had some students that really freaked out about that. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I will say this, believe it or not, and it is a lot. Now, that's a lot what we're asking, but it was even more. It was insurmountable. I almost got nauseated looking at it. The assignment, they cut that back considerably. So you may think, my God, what do they mean giving 10 on each? But listen, you don't know what they others did. Oh God, it was awful. So with that being said, it's doable. It's much doable. And if you will start now, you will be better off in the end.
I
Don't
kind
wait
of
to
feel like we did something similar to this when I was at Southern Regional with Miss Buckholtz for my associates. I feel
There
like
you go.
there was an
We
end
did.
of, yeah, it was such a long time ago for me. Because I had a long pause break before I started back up with having kids and stuff. But I feel like there was a final we had to do, and we had to get books, post them, put them in a organizer,
Yeah.
and write something about them.
I bet.
I
Well,
think
it's a
it
good,
was 50
yeah.
books.
Do what now?
I was saying, I think it was like 50 books that we had to do, whether it was
I thought so
books,
too.
picture books,
It
poems.
was. It was a
It was
lot.
a lot.
Well, at least this isn't 50. I mean, it is 30, but 30 is a lot. I mean, 30 is a lot. It's a lot. I just don't want you to get caught up and not be working on it. I mean, you may. And another thing, you might even want to do this, digitally set up your PowerPoint, because really and truly, that's all it asks is just some type of digital form that you could put these things in. And you might want to go ahead and set it up and just have it ready to go, and then you could add in as you go. But any book is off. I mean, any book can be used in any grade level, so you're not tied to that. Anything else?
I have a question about the what is it? The multisensory textbook. I have the fourth edition one, but we need the third edition one.
Is that what it says?
Well,
You have the
I've
fourth?
had it. It's this one. This is the activity book, but I have the actual book.
That will work. What it
This
is
one?
that'll work. That's it.
Yeah.
You have the right one. I have I don't have the newest one. Is what
Okay,
it is.
because the whole time I've been over here looking, and I'm like, I can't find that one.
No.
Wait, can you
You're
show that
right.
one again?
It looks
Yeah.
like that.
Show it like
says
that.
Yeah,
fourth
okay, yeah,
edition.
I have that
That's
one
it.
too then. Okay.
I
Okay.
have the.
Yeah, we should all still have it from the previous
Yes,
semester we were
yes.
in.
And I don't have it, but listen, y'all, it's basically the same. So I'm not going to be steering you wrong by what I have.
Okay.
But yeah, you have the right one. You do.
Okay.
No worries. I thought I had ordered. Yeah, you're right. Good deal. Yeah. I didn't mean to stress you out there. You were looking for the book. Like, where is the book? Okay. Well, ladies, that's all I have for you today. I think that's a good review over the course. There is a discussion board due, I think, at the end, maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. It is really what we talked about in class today, and you may have already done it. I don't know. I haven't really looked, but you can definitely go in there and do that, easy peasy. It's just your own personal opinions in this first one. I only preview a week at the time, so you're not going to see like 5 weeks of work shooting at you at one time. Next week, you're going to see week 2. Always remember, if you are missing something or you can't find something, go back up into the module to week 1. It may be in there, but do be mindful of that I only share out 1 week at a time. I usually on Sunday afternoons come in here and work and open up the next week. It'll be week 2, and you will see the information shown there. And I feel like that's best because sometimes students can get overwhelmed if they see too much in just, right off the bat. So I don't like to do that. And that's all I have. If you have any questions or concerns or issues that come up, please don't hesitate. Email me, and I promise you I will get right back with you as quickly as I can. This is what I do, and I take it very seriously. And I take you very seriously because I have literally sat where you're sitting. I did 2 advanced degrees online, and I know what it's like because sometimes it's just you and the computer at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're stumped. So I don't want anyone to feel like they are in that position. Always reach out if you have a question. There's no question that is ask what you want to ask because you need to know. Okay. All right. So that's all we have for today. And I'm going to close it up at this time. Thank you for your patience and thank you for just being great. I look forward to working with all of you and have a great rest of your day.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
You too. Thank
weekend.
you.
Okay. I've got to close out and save this.